What's up, y'all? This is Everett, and we're going to talk about why me playing the Euphonium for a little period was a blessing in disguise. So, this is how I was on Euphonium. So, I was in high school, I was a tuba player like my whole life. I wasn't that good. I was in the top band, but I was just the typical tuba player. So, I got to my senior year, and I just had an extra class, so I took concert band. I was just in the lowest band, just sitting in there. So I'm like, mm, I sh- it's a good time to learn a new instrument. So that's when I picked up the trombone. So I was learning trombone for that whole year, and surprisingly, within that whole year, I really improved on that. So when I graduated, I was like, I like the trombone, but I feel like that's more like pep band style, pep band jazz for me. So I knew when I did concert band, transitioning to college, I want to do euphonium. Now this going into college, I didn't know my major. Like I wanted to do biology, then I did summer. I failed, did bad in all my classes, so I'm like, yeah, it's not a good idea to do bio. So I was like, know what? I'm gonna go back to explore. I'm gonna do exploratory for now, and then try to get into music. So I was getting into music, and I was on euphonium. Now, when I look on it, doing euphonium instead of tuba, that's probably the dumbest thing I could have did. But looking back on it, it was kind of a blessing. So I'm going through college. They had an audition for Wind Symphony, so I was like, I'm gonna try to audition. Even though I'm new to euphonium, I'm gonna audition, see where this takes me. I get there to the audition, I hear everyone else play, and I'm just like, there's no point in even auditioning because these dudes they're no joke. They're way better, and I had just started, so of course I'm not gonna be as good. So I was in concert band, doing euphonium, auditioning. Now this is where it gets tough. So I know I want to do music, but I didn't know like what exactly. So at first I did tech. I auditioned for tech twice on the euphonium, didn't get in, and at this point when I didn't get in the second time, I was kind of panicking because there was two auditions left. The first one I didn't want to do because it was like 2 weeks after, like as soon as I got my results in January, I had 2 weeks to prepare for that one. So it was from there, I was processing it. I'm like, what should I do? What's the best move for me? So I decided to go back to tuba. And when I went back to tuba, this is why I say it was a blessing. I go back and play, and I notice it feels so comfortable playing. Like, I know playing, like, some players, they apply pressure and stuff to get the notes out. I was that type of player. And as a player, you shouldn't be doing that. But when I went back, I was so relaxed, especially in the high range. Like, I used to struggle and dread high notes, but now I wouldn't say it's a breeze, but it feels way more comfortable and easier just getting the notes out. So I went through there. I went back to tuba, started practicing. The people in the school of music, I love them so much. Like, I know for me, like, I wasn't a music major at the time, but I would be in there practicing and they would walk in, be like, "You're doing great." Like they'd encourage me, saying that I'm getting better. And then whatever I'm struggling on, they just stop by, just help me out, point some stuff out, give me tips. And yeah, it was very helpful for me. I really appreciate that. So I get to my audition day in March. This is when I'm on tuba, and before I'm doing music tech, or I was auditioning for tech, But I decided to swap to music education because I had there's this grad student, and I also did pep band. He was the director for that, and me and him, like, we had a one-on-one conversation. And at this point, we're kind of discussing it before my audition, because I was letting him know I wasn't getting in. Like, I kept trying and just wasn't working out. And he told me he said he said, dude, with where you are now, you're in a way better spot than I was. And I looked at him, and like, it kind of made me feel away, because the way I looked at him, like, he was just a phenomenal person. Like, he's the type of person that anyone would look up to. So the fact that he said that I'm in a better spot than he was when he was my age, like, it kind of moved me. And in that conversation, it kind of moved me. I was like, I like tech, but I feel like I have more of a thing in education and teaching than tech. Because I was looking at him and his teaching style. I love it. Like, who's calling me? My bad, y'all. That was the school. They're just letting me know that my credits finally transferred. But as I was saying, I like tech, but I feel like music education suits me more. In his teaching style, that's something I want to do. Because most band directors, teachers, whatever, they have an agenda. They just move with it. Like, no matter what the student thinks, like, you're gonna roll with that plan. With him, we had a plan, but he kind of made it to where the students were more involved. So he was like, "Hey, we're doing this. Is there anything else y'all want to do?" Like, he kind of let us take control, and I appreciate that. And also, he did something that I never seen. Like, after we're done with the practice, rehearsal, whatever, he'll ask us. He'll be like, "Hey, is there anything that I can improve on? Anything I could work on?" Like, he'll ask us to critique him. And it's like, we already look at him like he's a good director. And him asking that's like he's already good, but he wants to continue getting better. So that motivated me. So I walked into my audition. I told them I want to do music education. So I went through the audition process, and I was kind of nervous because that was the last audition of the semester. So it's one of those things where if I didn't get in, then I'd have to wait another year just to try again and get in. And I couldn't afford that. Like, I couldn't afford to do that. Even though I did good on my audition, I was so worried. Like, in my head, I'm like, if I don't get in, like, should I consider transferring? Like, it's just all these things that were going through my head. But I woke up one day, looked at my phone, I saw the results, and it said I got in. Ooh, I was so happy. Like, it's like I was working so hard. Like, I had a bunch of failures, but I kept going, and it finally paid off. That's why I view Euphonium as a blessing in disguise. Like, it's one of those things, I was bad at it. And I kept practice on I kept practicing. I practiced a lot on Euphonium. I was still bad. But I learned some techniques that really helped me on tuba. Like, me trying that out and then transitioning, it just made me a better tuba player overall. Helped me with my tone, technique, just all that. And it taught me a bunch of lessons. Like, tuba, I was decent. I wasn't a really good player. Yeah, I didn't have a good tone. And I'm gonna show these videos, but what I learned was that you could be this applies to any instrument. No matter how good you are, how skilled you are, no one's gonna want to listen to you if you don't have a good tone. And that's gonna be demonstrated in these two videos I'm gonna show. So the first video, it's gonna be me a year ago. I'm playing Down in the River to play a tuba. It's a brass piece that they played at University of Texas. I was trying to play the tuba solo, so I was just messing around. And then the next clip will be me a few days ago. I found an etude that I really liked, so that was probably my second day of working on it. It's just the second half of that etude, so I'm gonna show those and enjoy.